We're kicking off today with WWE, and with WrestleMania 41 approaching, all the superstars are hoping for a role on the card, but one name fans shouldn't expect to see is Alexa Bliss. Speaking on the hump, Sean Ross Sapp addressed Bliss's recent absence and lack of story direction since her return to the ring at the Royal Rumble last month. He said, "They did have creative for her, but she's been pulled from Mania Week stuff. I'm going to see what I can find out, but I've been absolutely asking. I believe a tag team program was scheduled for her." This quote comes after Bliss was scheduled for an appearance at the WWE World, the fan convention that'll take place in Las Vegas from April 17th to the 21st. This came as a disappointment to fans hoping to meet the former women's champion, and now it appears she won't be a part of any events around WrestleMania week. Intriguingly, this comes after WrestleVotes reported that there were big plans for Bliss at WrestleMania 41, and it was suggested that she'd have a role on the show with the Wyatt Six. The idea of Bliss joining the faction had been discussed among fans long before Bliss returned to the ring, and despite teases, she is yet to officially align with the group. With Bliss pulled from major WrestleMania events and her creative direction now unclear, it remains to be seen what's to come for Bliss now that she's back, but not being used. What do you make of this development for Bliss? Do you think WWE is making a mistake with their handling of her? Share your thoughts down in our comments section. Bliss isn't the only notable name missing from TV, as the Wyatt Six have also vanished from programming despite a recent move to SmackDown. The group last appeared on the December 9th, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw, and while no sign of their return has been confirmed by WWE, the group has teased things on social media. In a tweet from the group's page, the faction makes reference to ECC 3:1, a passage from the Bible's book of Ecclesiastes that reads, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." The tweet then states that, "In time you shall see, you shall behold, stand in awe," before making reference to Galatians 6:9 that urges believers to not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. The tweet ends with the message, "We see you, remember who you are, remember what you know," as the group appears to be calling for patience from fans awaiting their return. While the group has a lot of support from fans, it remains to be seen how patient audiences can be, especially with no sign of the group being brought back to TV anytime soon. As for Bliss's involvement, that too remains a mystery, and fans will just have to keep waiting to see what plans WWE eventually comes up with for Uncle Howdy and his allies. The WWE Hall of Fame is set to take place on April 18th, and now two major names are being considered for this year's class. According to WrestleVotes, Kamala, real name James Harris, is being seriously discussed to be inducted alongside Triple H, Lex Luger, Michelle McCool, and the Natural Disasters. Kamala was a towering figure during his time in the 1980s and 90s, and worked with the big names of the time, including The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, and Jake the Snake Roberts. Though he never held WWE gold, Kamala remains an iconic character of the time, but sadly this will be a posthumous induction, as Harris passed away in 2020 at the age of 70. Another name fans may be seeing getting inducted this year is Ken Shamrock, as PW Insider reports that there have been discussions but clarified that nothing has been confirmed. With Shamrock residing in Nevada, being inducted in Las Vegas this year could be the perfect opportunity for the wrestler with the moniker of the world's most dangerous man. Debuting in WWE in 1997, Shamrock would hold the Intercontinental and Tag Team titles and would also win the King of the Ring in 1998, defeating The Rock in the finals. A former NWA World Champion, Shamrock was the inaugural inductee into the UFC Hall of Fame in 2003 in recognition of his MMA career, and became a TNA Hall of Famer in 2022. It was in September of last year that Shamrock confirmed that he had signed a WWE Legends deal, and at the time, many speculated that a Hall of Fame spot wouldn't be far behind. At this time, neither Ken nor Kamala have been confirmed, but would you like to see the pair inducted into the Hall of Fame this year? Let us know down in the comments. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, one team fans have yet to see be inducted is Demolition, but what would it take for the duo of Axe and Smash to agree to an induction? Speaking to 10 Count Media, Bill Eadie, aka Axe, said he's not sure they'll ever get called by WWE, given how many tag teams are also worthy of being inducted. Barry Darso, aka Smash, then discussed what it'd take for them to accept an invite from WWE, and laughed as he said it'd probably take at least $100,000 for the team to agree. That's far more than WWE usually pays inductees, which Darso claimed was around $5,000 to $6,000, and Darso said he'd give much of his take to charities and family. Eadie wrapped up by saying it'd be nice to be inducted, but they're not too worried about it, and that they appreciate the fans who believe they've earned a spot in the Hall of Fame. Whether that induction ever happens, that's up to WWE, but there's no shortage of people who believe that the induction of Axe and Smash into the WWE Hall of Fame is long overdue. It's been over a year and a half since Brock Lesnar last competed for WWE, and as questions remain about his future, the former world champion recently resurfaced. On social media, an image surfaced of Lesnar posing for a picture with a fan in a rare public sighting of Brock, who was pulled from all WWE plans in early 2024. Lesnar was nixed from all plans due to his name being tied to the Janelle Grant lawsuit, leaving fans unsure as to when, if ever, he'll be back. In an update, Ringside News was told that Lesnar was spotted at a steakhouse in Austin, Texas this week, and when asked if he was coming back to WWE, simply said, "We'll see." Lesnar was once at the very top of WWE's roster, but the company has continued forward without him, and we will indeed have to wait and see if the Beast ever wrestles again. At WWE NXT Roadblock, Giulia lost the NXT Women's Championship to Stephanie Vaquer following reports that the Beautiful Madness was dealing with some injuries. Giulia's setback comes in the midst of WrestleMania 41 season, but fans can expect to see her back soon enough, and perhaps at the Showcase of the Immortals. Speaking on the hump, Sean Ross Sapp confirmed that as of now, Giulia is still on track for WrestleMania 41, as he explained, "As far as I heard, she was. I haven't heard anything to indicate that she's not." As for what role Giulia could play in WrestleMania week, that could be up to if she's cleared to wrestle, but fans shouldn't count out an appearance from the Japanese superstar. Do you want to see Giulia do something at WrestleMania week and perhaps the PLE? If so, what should her role be? Let us know your thoughts and feedback down below. Over to TNA Impact as Heather and Ash by Elegance gloated about their Knockouts title win at Sacrifice and demanding a moment of silence for the former champ Spitfire. Before they could bask in their moment of glory, though, NXT's Lash legend and Jakara Jackson arrived and declared themselves the real champions and demanded the titles. Spitfire, consisting of Danny Luna and Jody Threat, then arrived, hoping to have a rematch, and to add to the chaos, NXT's Gigi, Dollin, and Tatum Paxley also showed up and wanted a match. As tensions boiled over, Santino Marella appeared to restore order and made a title match for next week between the Elegant Champions against Dollin and Paxley. Santino added that Spitfire will be banned from ringside for the match, and this match will just be the latest to demonstrate the WWE TNA partnership. As for how Jackson and Legend will fit into all of this, that remains to be seen, but it may be a matter of time before an NXT tag team holds the TNA Knockouts tag gold. AJ Francis was met with deafening boos and chants of "We don't care" at TNA Impact, and he cut a scathing promo, letting the fans know he didn't like them either. Chavo Guerrero then made a surprise appearance, which fans certainly did care about, but Francis was unbothered by the arrival of the wrestling veteran. As he said, "If I wanted to have the second best Guerrero on the first-class penthouse, I would have called my buddy Dominik." Chavo fired back with a bombshell and also referenced Dominik Mysterio with his own take on the Judgment Day's potential lineage. He said, "The verdict is still out on Dominik because we aren't sure he's a Guerrero yet. We're waiting to find out. His mom did get around and Eddie was damn good looking." These references were a nod to the Rey Mysterio vs. Eddie Guerrero feud of 2005, in which Eddie claimed that Dominik was his biological son that Rey and his wife Angie had adopted. These lines got big pops from the fans, and we'll have to see if Dominik or Rey have a response to what Dominik's supposed cousin had to say during the latest edition of Impact. Did you like this segment, and do you think more should be made about Dominik's potential Guerrero heritage? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section. Now, as we previously reported, Alberto Del Rio was hit with a 6-month suspension from wrestling in Tijuana following an incident with a fan at a AAA event. Now, the former WWE champion has addressed the situation and claimed that he was the victim and that security failed to properly act. Del Rio claims that after his match, an intoxicated fan threw an ice cube at him, striking him in the eye, and while Del Rio tried to ignore it and move on, the fan later threw coins at him. Del Rio also claimed that instead of punishing the fan, security let the fan walk away, and now he's the one being punished, and also took issue with the Tijuana Wrestling Commission. Addressing the commission and its head, Julio Cesar Casillas, Del Rio brought up the passing of Hijo del Perro Aguayo from 2015, which came under the commission's watch. "As it happened when we lost my dear friend Pedro, Hijo del Perro Aguayo, the Tijuana Wrestling Commission washed their hands, blaming someone else for what happened to divert the attention. They failed due to not having an ambulance, physician, stretcher, among other things. Today they do the same thing, blame someone else for their own mistakes, but with me to divert the attention that a woman and myself ended up physically injured after being attacked by a bunch of misfits, drunk fans." Despite his suspension from Tijuana, Del Rio confirmed that he is still free to wrestle everywhere else in Mexico, so fans will still get to see the former champion in action. This is a messy situation and yet another troubling situation on the ex-WWE superstar's resume as trouble continues to find the former world champion. But what do you make of this situation? Was Del Rio in the wrong as first reported, or has his account of things changed your view? Let us know down in the comments section below. This year, WWE will host its 16th Money in the Bank PLE, which will reportedly take place from the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California. That's according to WrestleVotes Radio, and if this location sounds familiar, it's because it played host to Raw's debut episode on Netflix in January of this year. While there'll be the two ladder matches, no other bouts have been confirmed just yet, and we'll have to see who walks away from LA with the two coveted Money in the Bank briefcases. In the world of UFC, Paddy Pimblett has been making his name in the octagon, and older wrestling fans who watch Pimblett may notice a striking resemblance to a certain Rocket. With his shoulder-length blonde hair, Pimblett does look similar to the late Owen Hart, and recently a conspiracy theory on Reddit argued that this isn't a coincidence. In the conspiracy subreddit, a user named Spy Alien said that Pimblett was born in England in January 1995, 9 months after Hart was in Europe during a tour with WWE. Spy Alien adds that both are athletic men who look a lot alike and stand at 5'10", and said if Pimblett pulls out a sharpshooter in a fight, then his Hart heritage will be confirmed. In July of last year, Pimblett said he thought about pursuing a future in wrestling and shockingly named Shawn Michaels as his favorite wrestler growing up. That may cause to some frosty family reunions if Pimblett is a Hart after all, and according to this conspiracy, the fighter may be a part of the Hart wrestling dynasty. More from TNA Impact now as Knockouts champion Masha Slamovich addressed the crowd and spoke about retaining her title at Sacrifice against NXT's Cora Jade. Tessa Blanchard interrupted to loud boos and declared herself the best in the Knockouts division, but before Slamovich could even react, she was ambushed by Jacy Jayne. Security rushed to the ring to separate Slamovich and the former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, and Santino Marella arrived to lay down the law. The Director of Authority booked a match pitting Slamovich against Jayne for next week and ensured that Blanchard was banned from ringside. Jacy Jayne is the latest NXT star to cross the line and seemingly has her eyes on the Knockouts title, and could she be the one to dethrone Slamovich? Time will tell. At an NXT live event in January 2025, Lince Dorado made a surprise return to WWE, but in a recent interview with 302 Birds, he explained that he was supposed to return 2 years ago. Dorado didn't dwell on the past though, and shared that he is back now and is under contract once more as both a wrestler and a trainer. The Masked Star credited his background as a math teacher for inspiring his passion for coaching, and is happy to have a skill that'll keep him in wrestling even after he stops competing. Dorado was with WWE from 2016 to November 2021, but now he's back and is ready to both wrestle and teach the superstars of tomorrow. When it comes to the women of AEW and Ring of Honor, few are more dominant than the reigning TBS champion Mercedes Moné and reigning ROH Women's champion Athena. Moné won her title in her very first match for AEW, while Athena has held the title since December 2022 and is the longest reigning champ in ROH history regardless of sex. Clearly, the two have reached their heights of their respective divisions, and now fans may get the chance to see the two collide on pay-per-view. Fightful Select reports that Athena versus Mercedes Moné is the plan, with the belief being that it may come as soon as AEW Dynasty next month. Speculation grew about a showdown during Revolution when Billy Starks, who has been involved with Athena in ROH, was seen watching Moné's title match with Momo Watanabe. On this week's Dynamite, Starks failed in her title shot against the CEO, with sources suggesting that this match was done to lay the groundwork for a showdown with ROH's forever champion. The report didn't state if this would be a winner-takes-all match or even a title unification bout, but fans can expect answers on the road to Dynasty should this match go ahead. More from AEW's women's division as Saraya last competed for the promotion during the October 8th edition of Dynamite, where she failed to regain the women's world title. While Saraya hasn't wrestled since then, she's been keeping a close eye on the product and has been impressed by the work of her former ally Harley Cameron. Speaking to the Takedown on SI, Saraya shared her appreciation for Cameron's work and also explained her absence from AEW for the past 5 months. She said, "People love her. I'm like, I need to take a break, and then maybe eventually I could come back and we can go into a story where I'm just trying to hold you back again, and then you get your big pin on me. That's the idea I wanted. I don't think we're doing that now, but I said the best thing I can do is take a step back." Cameron isn't the only name Saraya had praise for, as she also credited Toni Storm as one of the best promos and characters, adding that Storm is making things fun and exciting. As for Saraya, it's unclear when fans will see her back in the ring, and in the meantime, the British star is hyping up the release of her Hell in Boots memoir set to be released this month. The book will hold nothing back, and when a fan on Twitter asked if Saraya covers her private photos being leaked, the wrestler confirmed that this difficult chapter of her life is being covered. The book will cover Saraya's highs and lows, and though we don't know for certain when she'll wrestle again, the AEW star remains heavily focused on what's happening on TV. We've got WWE ID now as it was last month that Triple H revealed 2 WWE ID titles, and now a huge step has been made to crowning the inaugural champions. It's been announced that Zeta Steele, the first wrestler to be ID'd, will face Kylie Ray in the first round of the tournament to crown the first ever WWE ID Women's Champion. This match will take place at a standalone event that will be a part of GCW's The Collective, a series of events that will take place in Las Vegas over WrestleMania week. While Steele was the first WWE ID name, Ray has a wealth of experience to her name, making this opening battle in the tournament a very interesting clash for the gold. And we're ending today with Bishop Dyer, formerly known as Baron Corbin, who has proven his skills in jiu-jitsu once again by winning a gold medal. On social media, the former WWE superstar shared a pic of himself with his gold from the 2024 Pan Jiu-Jitsu Championships, clearly ecstatic over his victory. The Lone Wolf has competed for GCW and Maple Leaf Pro since being cut from WWE in late 2024, and fans await to see where he appears next, especially after his gold medal victory.